One of the most powerful tools available when analyzing an options trade is the risk graph. A risk graph is a visual representation of the profit and loss of your trade, plotted against the price of the underlying asset along the horizontal axis and the dollar amount of profit or loss along the vertical axis. It gives you an immediate picture of how your trade performs across a wide range of market scenarios. In Option Panel, the risk graph is displayed on the right side of the trade detail view. You will notice two curves on the chart. The line shaded in red and green represents the current profit and loss curve of the trade, reflecting the trade's performance right now under current market conditions. The gray line, on the other hand, represents the profit and loss curve at expiration, or more precisely, at the nearest expiration date if your trade contains options with multiple expiry dates. But the real power of the risk graph goes far beyond a static snapshot. It allows you to simulate how the profit and loss curve would shift as market conditions change, specifically the passage of time and changes in implied volatility, two of the most critical factors that directly affect the value of options and therefore the outcome of your trade. Let me show you how that works with a live example. I'll start by adjusting the time control, simulating the passage of time toward expiration. Because this trade is a credit spread, it benefits from time decay. As time passes and all other market conditions remain equal, particularly volatility, the profit and loss curve moves upward. In other words, the trade gains value simply with the passage of time. Now, let me bring the time control back to the present moment and instead adjust the volatility control. I'll simulate first a rise in volatility and then a drop. This trade carries negative vega, meaning it loses value when volatility increases and gains value when volatility decreases. You can see that reflected directly in the graph as I move the control in each direction, and of course, you can combine both controls simultaneously, simulating any combination of time passage and volatility change to see their joint effect on your profit and loss curve. This makes the risk graph an essential tool for running through different market scenarios before they happen, helping you make more informed decisions about your trade. Now, as you move your cursor across the chart, you'll notice a tooltip appears at each point, showing you the exact profit and loss value at that price level, along with the values of all the Greeks at that point: delta, gamma, rho, theta, and vega. And at the top of the chart, you can also see the aggregate Greek values for the entire trade, giving you a consolidated view of your overall exposure. If you prefer to work with numbers instead of a visual curve, you can switch to the Risk Matrix view by clicking the Risk Matrix tab. This is a numerical representation of the same data shown in the graph, organized as a table with price levels on the vertical axis and different dates along the horizontal axis. For example, looking at a specific row, you can immediately read off the expected profit or loss at a given underlying price across multiple future dates. You can also toggle the table to display Greek values instead of profit and loss figures. Take delta as an example. Delta tells you how much the trade's value changes for every $1 move in the underlying. By scanning across the table, you can see how your delta exposure shifts at different price levels and over time, which is extremely useful for understanding how your directional risk evolves as the trade progresses. Finally, clicking on Price Chart switches the right panel to display the price history of the underlying asset. This is a full-featured candlestick chart where you can add technical indicators and perform chart analysis directly within Option Panel without needing to switch to an external platform. It is a convenient way to combine your trade analysis with a technical study of the underlying all in one place.